Hey guys, Sugar John coming at you with another Awaken Chaos Air video. Today's video is going to be a spotlight on the one and only Brand. Now, before any of you say anything, yes, Brand was available in the Magic Pass not long ago, but a lot of new characters are coming in and they're really asking what are one of the best support units to get in the game. And I feel like it's time that we're gonna go over Brand and talk about what he can do, what he's possible of doing, and how he can help you in your account if you were to get him. All right, so as you can see here, I do have Brand. I have him currently 4th ascended. Now, this is thanks to, I was lucky enough to pull him very early on when he was released, as well as I did get the Magic Pass, and then I pulled him a couple times since then. Now, something to note with Brand is he is a fire element. This does not mean that he's only good against the fire element or the wood element. Overall, his kit in general is amazing for just any and all elements. He literally is a support unit. That's what you use him for. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and we'll cover why. Now, you see here, when you look at his stat breakdown, his stats are attack is a B, health is an S, note that one. Defense is an A, speed is a B, crit rate is a B. Now, at the blind eye, you'd say, okay, well, that's not too astronomical. I mean, health, cool. I've heard of support, whatever. Like, health can't mean that big of a difference. Well, in this case, it does. Because his health is an S rank, it means he's very easy to scale with health percent, like pieces of gear and substats. This also means you can kind of get around having to have some stats on him, and you can gain other stats elsewhere. So for example, if we hit the more tab, you can see the stats I currently run on my Brand. Now, mind you, this is an in-game Brand. This is a Brand that I take and I run through the Void Tower as well as through all the other content. I use him for my Witch of the Winds. He can help me clear level 12 and Hell 1. I also use him in Endless Trials. I use him for the Void Tower, like I said. I've even used him in Arena. Now, the reason being is because his health is so high, he's so easy to scale with this HP. So as you see here, I run him at about 2,800 HP. I would like to get that to a flat 3,000 if I could. Or 30,000, sorry. And defense is 1,800, which is pretty high. Speed is 215, which is great. Focus is only at 62, and that's a little low. He does have a taunt, so I would like to get his focus up a lot higher. Unfortunately, it's just not been the cards yet with the gear. Eventually, I will get the gear, and his focus will go way up. I would like to see him right around 100% focus if I can. Precision is at 119. This I'm trying to get up higher as well, because this will help you land your taunts on off elements, as well as the agility will help you reduce the incoming attacks from off elements when he does his taunt. Now, for those of you who are unaware of his kit, I've talked about taunt already twice with his kit. Yes, he does have a taunt built in, and surprisingly, it's in a nice position. His A1 ability is deal 80% damage to an enemy with a 50% chance to apply taunt for 1 turn. This is a literally flip the coin, and chances are you're either going to get a taunt or not a taunt. It's 50-50 gamble. I like this mechanic in here because this taunt can be super clutch, as well as it can be more impactful than what you know, because he also has this wonderful ability on the passive here, which is when an ally is attacked, there's a 100% chance to counterattack. The counterattack deals 50% damage with an 80% chance to apply attack down. So not only can his A1 taunt, but then he can, every time anyone goes, he can apply an attack down on a character. As long as they attack your team, there's an 80% chance that he will apply that attack down. So focus is imperative on him. So now we have 2 abilities here that synergize extremely well, where they are debuffs that are incredible in the game, and they're so nice and neatly packaged. And that's just 2. That's 2 abilities. That's A1 and A2. Granted, yes, the A2 is not an actual skill. It is somewhat like a passive trait. Now, speaking of traits, let's go ahead and talk about what its trait is. At the start of the turn, grants shield worth 5% of this character's max health to all team members for 1 turn. Now, this isn't a typo. It's not the start of the turn, it's the start of the round. So as long as Brand is in your lineup, at the start of each round, he will apply the shield. Keep that in mind, because some people thought it was turn and they needed to get a lot of speed is what they thought. Turns out you don't have to do that. But there is a reason to have speed, we just haven't caught it yet. But so as you're aware, shields in this game, they're pretty good. They mitigate a lot of damage, right? Shields in any game mitigate a lot of damage. 5% of this character's max health though is impeccable. Then if you get him ascended, which I have mine ascended, it's 10% of this character's max health. So that's literally 10% of this 28,000 health right here. That's a 2,800 shield every time. Most characters, especially your DPS characters, run right around a target range of HP around 10k. I think most people would agree that that's the standard common practice for their building the DPS unit, is that you should be around 10 to 11k for your DPS, as well as about 1k defense. This means that if we were to pull up our handy dandy calculator and say we shoot for 11,000, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to take what is this, 2,800 580, so that's going to be, we'll call it 2,850. So if we take this and we divide this by 2,850, opposite way around, 2,850, it was a 50-50 guess, guys. It's 50-50. And you divide that by the 11,000, which would be your standard DPS unit. This shield is literally like 26% of a standard DPS shield. So of standard DPS character's health. So if that computes with you, then you understand that by having the shield on there, your DPS gets a quarter more life. That's literally what this does every round. So his trait is amazing, absolutely amazing. And that's not even the rest of his utility. So if we go into the ultimate utility ability here, this is going to be the last ability. Now, one thing everyone always neglects and does not think of when they think of Brand is he removes one negative effect from all team members and applies defensive up and attack up for 2 turns. So for one, everyone forgets he does a cleanse. So nobody likes to use him in certain areas. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, I can't take him in Ash because I need a cleanser. Do you need a cleanser? You have one. There's different abilities and different kit synergies that you really need to read their kit to understand what they do. A lot of people neglect the fact that he can negate one effect from the team. So just being able to just strip like a bomb, being able to strip poison, so on and so forth, is a massive thing to have, especially in a utility unit. Like, he's literally, it's a massive support unit. He's built like a tank. He can do all this extra support, and he's going to counterattack and do attack down. With that being said, I know a lot of people like to see this and go, oh, well, he has the potential to do a lot of damage because of his counterattack. He can do 50% damage. His A1 is 80% damage. There's a chance there he can do a lot of damage. There absolutely is not. Do not build him in any sort of way for DPS. He is a support unit. You want to build him out to go fast. You want him to go first in the lineup, put the defensive up 2, the attack up 2. That way you can synergize with characters like Windstrex. You can synergize with other characters like Joseph, who are going to put attack up 1, not attack up 2. This way it all works linearly. Range is attack up 1 as well. Everything will move very, very linearly with this character, as long as you know how to skill him and build him properly. In this case, when we show you my gear, I did that. I built him the best of my ability. Now, note that a lot of these pieces of gear, they're very, very good pieces of gear where a lot of people are not going to have these. I'm running speed boots on him because I want him to go first in every lineup that I put him in. That's why he goes so fast, and it's because I want to fully utilize the portion of him that is support. His ring is only a HP percentage. With speed and precision, I really was trying to focus on focus, speed, and precision, as well as HP with this character. I wasn't so much worried about his defense, more so his speed, focus, and precision. The next piece of gear is health right here. This could also be swapped out for a focus banner. Keep this in mind when you go to these amulets here. You could really pick a focus one and it would be okay. And the reason being is because, like I said, you want him to have as much focus as possible because you want him to be able to land that taunt as well as that attack down. It is extremely imperative that you're able to control the enemy, right? When you do a taunt, that controls the ability that they're going to use back on you. That literally makes them only use their A1 ability, which and a lot of times can make or break the game. Real-time arena is coming. Now with real-time arena coming, you're not going to be reliant on dumb AI. You're going to be reliant on things like this, where you have guaranteed success because you have a massive amount of focus. So don't be scared. Don't be hasty to not use an HP percent amulet on him and throw like, you know, a focus amulet on him. I don't know about resistance. Resistance would be great to have on him as well because he will taunt. but definitely target your focus first and then get kind of resistance as a secondary or passive trait if you could get it. So let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the gear that I have on him. We have a weapon prioritizing defense, health, speed. These are all percent stats with the speed, which is perfect. We have a 3 times HP on here and precision. Note that I am trying to go for HP as well as focus and precision because he does scale so high with HP and because that shield is just so impactful on your team. His chest piece here has focus and HP. I did not want this crit rate roll. Honestly, I could have done without that. That would be much better suited if that was a focus or a defensive percent. And like I said, the boots here we already went over. But overall, guys, I focused on getting him primarily in revival gear. And the reason why we say revival gear is because of this this A1 ability here, which is the taunt. So you want him to be able to take a hit and then heal himself up. You want to be kind of self-sufficient. Yes, he does put on his massive shield himself, but sometimes those shields just aren't enough and you really need to heal back up your character. It'll help him survive and outclass a lot of other champions just by running this revival gear on him. And then I'm running Raider on him too, because like I said, I want him to go first in almost any and all compositions that I can come up with. Now, real quick, we'll go ahead and I'll show you where I use him at and how I use him. So first things first, we'll go ahead and we'll look at the Void Tower. If we look at my current Void Tower team, I just finished Void Tower 100 for 100 hard. Brand was along with this lineup along with Tia, Cyrus, and Valeria. They were super clutch, but Brand really set everything up. Because his support, I was able to bring one really good support character and not worry about bringing so many other support characters, whereas Tia is a support character, but she's kind of like a secondary support character, where Brand himself was able to do a lot of the taunts, as well as giving me those extra stat boosts that I really needed. Now, another area that I use him at, and we'll go ahead and we'll pull this up here because you guys can see, I was able to beat the Witch of the Wind here. Now, Witch of the Wind, I used Brand the Brilliant, Hackern, and Blackhorn. Brand's shield was pretty much the MVP of this fight. His shield would almost disappear at the end. Blackhorn would do very little heals, and it works just fine. The reason why I run this team though is because I do have a lower win rate, but by running Brand with Hackern and Blackhorn, it almost guarantees it, because Hackern boosts up the HP of Brand. The higher HP Brand puts up a higher shield, and you get the point here, right? You get the synergy point. The other thing is Ashe. My first time clearing Ashe, Brand was a part of it. He's part of my Ashe 14 team. He was a part of my Ashe 12 team, my 13 team. Granted, yes, I did move on to do the Ice Wolf comp on 12, but to clear 14, it was super easy as long as I brought in Brand. He is just that good as far as his support goes. I've even used him in Roaring Tulpa, and it works well. The problem is it's just not that fast. It's not really shown here, but in Roaring 12, I have been able to use him just fine, and Roaring Tulpa, sorry. And when I do use him in there, he does his job. He puts up a great shield, he does the attack up, and then I'm able to burst down the opponent's shield, which is the big golem, right? And everything just works very smoothly. So overall, I'll give Brand a massive rating for just the dungeons. He's also impeccable in the Endless Trials. If we go to Endless Trials here, I don't think I was using him in the last rotation. Let's see who I have in here for my battles. Nope, I do. Okay, I have him in here because he's that good. He just does a very good job of being a support unit. So I use him in Endless Trials with a lot of AoE nukers to go ahead and knock those out very quickly. As you saw there, that was Endless Trials 70. I have no problems with doing that because I can bring in my Brand. Next we have is the No Man's Land. Now this one is kind of fun. I do use him here and there. He's in my Bane's Wrath team, I believe. Nope, I must have taken him out of Bane's Wrath once I figured out that other comp. But I have used him in both of these comps here. As you see here, when I go to run my fire one, I do have Brand in here, even though Brand is a fire element. You would think it probably would be wise to bring in a water unit. In this case, I really didn't need it, and that's because I had Brand. He has a massive amount of support, and it just works out great. Also, I just realized these characters aren't geared. This is a terrible example. I can't believe they just killed that. Natalia has no gear on. So, interesting. Well, as you can see here, with no attack, he did 4% of the Flame Lizard on 12. That's impressive. So at least I got that going for me, right? But yeah, as you see there, Natalia doesn't have any gear on, so that doesn't work very well. There's no amount of boost that you can give to really make that work. But the other point that I wanted to make in that particular composition is that Molhex always puts up an attack up. This synergizes with Brand's attack up as well, allowing you to really utilize your nukers, which is why I had that particular setup. There we go. Because Molhex here synergizes so well with Brand. Let me go find him so that way I can explain to you why he synergizes very well. That's because he places this attack up, and this is attack up 1, not 2, like Brand. And his passive ability, any attack by an ally affected by attack up against the enemy reduces this character's cooldown by 1 turn. What this literally means is as long as they have an attack up, it reduces the cooldown on Molhex. And as you get Molhex ascended, it doesn't matter what one it is, so which that makes Brand even more beneficial. So there's a lot of synergy to be had with him. He does a lot of things for you, especially with William, who, you know, as you know, William's passive is also an attack up. So you're just getting a lot of utility out of this man. Highly recommend him. And the reason why we're going on and on and on about him is sometimes there are certain ways that you can get this particular character. Like we had the limited summons. This is basically over at this point. Brand was on the docket. He was highly recommended. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but I basically told you need to go get Brand. I hope this kind of helps you understand why you need to get Brand and what you could be doing with him. He's also very good in adventure mode. Obviously, anyone who could put up an attack up, defensive up like that, and then keep going, it'll always support the characters, especially putting up that shield. Allows you a lot of time not to bring in that extra reviver or that healer. When I say reviver, I mean Mathasia, and by healer, I mean that Rodira or that Connor, where you just need minor heals compared to massive heals from like Blackhorn. So he's super helpful, super impactful, easy to synergize with majority of characters out there. That's what we're gonna say about our boy Brand here. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about Brand? Are you using him? Did I hit it on the did I knock it on the top of the head there? Did I knock it out of the park? Do you guys agree with what I'm saying? If not, let me know down in the comments down below. But I'm gonna say this is probably one of the best rated support units in the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I hope this helps you make any decisions you have around Brand and if you are going to build him. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.